All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are listening to this podcast. This is David Valenzuela with I Wish. Welcome to season 2, everybody. I wish on today's podcast that I could have Maria Ramos from the Money Making Esthetician joining us. Maria, welcome to the show.
Season 2? Where did the time go? I remember day 1.
I know. So you were the first person on. So you're the first person to come on and be the second season, first episode, second season. So scary. It's not scary, but it's actually relevant because as I'm talking to Stephen, we're looking at analytics for podcast season 1. There's over 40,000 views just on YouTube, not talking about iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify. The podcast does really well on Spotify too. So I was like, oh, I guess I have to comb my hair today. 40,000 people are looking at what's going on.
I did ask. I was like, do I have to get ready?
I know. So I know, because we just want to wear sweats and like have a Monday and like, I get it. So thank you for bringing, thank you for dedicating the time. I know it's Monday. We're all trying to stay well through all the fun things that are going on in the world today. So you guys, today we're going to talk about insights and industry trends. We're going to talk about building and maintaining a skincare business. You know, Maria and I obviously have a lot of insight into what's going on, not just in our own personal businesses, but what's happening in the world. We're going to talk a little bit about events, planning and marketing. We're going to talk a little bit about education and relationship building. And then Maria's got some, of course, amazing things to talk about for the group. So Maria, let's talk about, so we've had, we did the first podcast, I think it was September, right? Yeah, August, September 2023. So it's been a year.
Wow.
You've got a very successful, robust group of estheticians, now over 100,000 people in Money Making Esthetician. What are you witnessing from a year ago to now? Like, what's evolving in the group around the conversation?
What kind of, okay, because when you go to the group, when you say conversation, it's a very fluid group. So specifically, what kind of conversation? Because inside of the group, we talk about a lot. We talk about emotional well-being, which I think is huge.
Yep.
That's actually what I want to go off on a tangent on when I hear about that kind of stuff. So what specifically?
So we can talk about, so you guys, for those that are listening and those that know me, David Valenzuela, Wish Skin Health, and Maria Ramos, Money Making Esthetician, we see a lot of conversations in the group, and there are varying things that we get into, whether it's an acne related question or somebody posting a picture about they don't understand what the skin condition is, or just a conversation. And I think actually, you just touched on something that was really key, because there have been a lot of conversations in the group this past year about, are you okay? And people actually stepping up and saying, you know what? No, I'm not okay. So the mental health aspect of it, I think on one of the podcasts, I was talking about an esthetician in Georgia. She called me and she was very, very upset. She had an acne client come in. This is an adult woman. She was in hysterics about her acne. And she's like, David, I don't know how to deal with this. And I'm like, oh gosh, we got to call Joyce, the energy lady, because this is like a whole other thing. Like, there's always, there's jokes all the time about estheticians, massage therapists, hairdressers being therapists.
Yeah.
Right? Because your clients, they have an independent relationship with you that goes, you're actually touching them, which is a very personal thing. So people have a different relationship in this space with normal, like you don't go shopping and you're like telling the cashier at Ralph's, that you're getting a divorce or something's going on with your boyfriend. You don't do that, but in our industry, you do. So what are your thoughts around the conversation around mental health and just being aware of it in the group for the last year?
Mental health for me is like such an important subject, because I personally deal with mental health and anxiety issues. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's where it came up, where if I'm going through it, other people will go through it. So now and then I'll do mental health check. And I really see that people are connecting on more than just a business. So when I originally started the group, I was like, let's get information, ladies. We're not talking about feelings. Nobody cares about feelings. Let's get to business. It was also during COVID, though. So it was a very different time where I thought that there was so much going on, a lot of scariness, that if we just narrowed down the focus and only focused on business, I think in that point in time, that was what was needed. Because it was like, we're all going online. Let's all figure it out together. This is how much you need to make. So I feel like at that time, and now it has evolved, and it's pre-COVID, and I feel like we're all still, literally still getting out of that, what had happened. that now it's kind of everything has hit us at once, where it's like now it's like mental health check.
Yes.
There was one post that she was like, "My dad just passed away, and I still have a business, and I'm grieving. I don't know how to get through this." And so many other people came and spoke, and like to not feel like an F up
Hmm.
in the middle of all this because you still have compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so pre-pandemic, when I first started in the industry, estheticians were so busy they were no longer taking new clients. And I remember this to like the T, where like I was like, that was my goal. I was so close. And then everybody was like, no longer taking new clients. No, and like that was like a thing. Where like if a one spot was to open up, everybody would flock. Now, after COVID, obviously like everybody lost their clientele,
Yep.
or the majority of us. And now we're building back from scratch of people who have been in for 10 years, some people left, some people came. So I really see in the industry there's a lot more empathy,
Yeah.
boundary setting, and like not necessarily people pleasing, but like standing on your business in an empathetic way. So the balance is better, or at least we're all trying to get there better.
I think so. I do see I'll see the occasional person that's not being so like calm down situation. I was like, okay, girl, it's all right. But you know what? The thing that I love about the just from even from when we started to now is that there is empathy. We're all human beings and we're all having emotionals, and we all have emotionals. Let's make up new words. We all have emotionals. We all have emotions, and we are allowed to feel our feelings. And it doesn't mean nobody else has the position to say it's right or wrong. Your feelings are your feelings. You're allowed to feel them, and you're allowed to express them in a way that actually it resonates with you, and it's okay. So just having a group of people. The thing that I think is one of the things that Jane was really good at with Dermalogica back in the day was building community. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
built a community, right? And what I find, so it's always fascinating to me because, going on 30 years in the industry, it's not my first day at the rodeo, is that a lot of the group feels very comfortable going there first to ask a question before they're even willing to go and do research on their own. They're like, let's just throw this out to the group and
I
see.
love that.
And they're like, okay. And then you sound off, you might get 80 different answers, but at least they feel comfortable enough to be able to ask the question, which is important.
It's funny that you bring up Jane because I actually heard her speak.
You
I went
did?
to the Dermalogic Institute, and I remember leaving there on fire.
Yes.
And one of the things that I really appreciate about the group, like our motto for 2024 was "Don't suffer in silence."
Yep.
So I was really hoping to build a community that was like where you feel safe
Hmm.
enough to ask the most in wild questions, like, and you actually feel validated. Like you feel so, like for example, I had an issue where I had this like crazy client come in, and I posted about it in the group, and I didn't know why I was doing it. I just did it because I was like, it was icky. And actually, out of the woodworks came other people that the same person did it to them. So now it was like there was so many of us that she had tried to like scam.
Ooh.
And after talking to a lot of people, I felt like less icky and less validated. And when it happens to you, like people, and you're trying to protect your business because it's something that you work so hard to. And so when you post this and you like throw it in the group, and people are like, I went through this as well. For example, I remember when you and I first met, there was a man who was inappropriate inside of a waxing room. And there could come a lot of shame with that. Like you thought it
Yeah.
was your fault. This wouldn't happen to somebody else. Like that's what I thought when my incident happened. Like I
Yeah.
just wasn't professional enough. I wasn't good enough. I didn't do this enough. Like you blame yourself, and there's a lot of shame that comes with it, and a lot of embarrassment. And then when I posted it in the group, I was like, oh my God, like it wasn't just me. He was trying to get everybody. And so like when the man was inappropriate, and a lot of estheticians came and were like, this same thing happened to me, you feel less like gross. I felt gross anyways.
It
And it was
is.
like,
It,
it's not you, it's the other person.
mhm.
Respectfully. Like.
Yeah. It is. Well, and you know what? The general public doesn't understand. People usually work in environments, and that I was talking to somebody last week where I would think I was in Atlanta still. They were talking about all these day spas, right? There used to be day spas, day spas, day spas, and how the industry has shifted in. And we have a lot of solopreneurs, which I love the term, but we don't have an office full of people to generally go and have this conversation. So if you are a solo person working by yourself independently and somebody comes in and is inappropriate with you or does something that's inappropriate and you're like, is this my fault? Did this? And so you have a place to go in the group, which is
Like,
powerful.
especially with the waxing, like you can't go to your friends or your husband and be like, a man just ejaculated in my treatment room while I was waxing him. He might be look at you like, say that
They're
again?
like, you need to call the cops. What the hell?
Yeah, but it's like it's so much more than that action because you
Mm-hmm.
like try to think like, what did I do to lead up to it?
Yep.
Like
Yes.
I'm not. Anyways, well, that's exactly what the group was made for.
Mhm.
And also, like, that's where it's like I've kind of stepped back and see, okay, where is the group going and what do we need as a whole? But I still very much want to keep it like business because I named it the money making esthetician for a
Yep.
very specific reason, is I want us to get like comfortable with numbers because ultimately, when we all make money, when we're all doing good, we could all support each other and like make a difference in the industry all together as a whole, kind of thing.
Yes. And I
We
think
need to make money.
yeah, at the end of the day, everyone needs to support themselves and should have a thriving business. And this is where the group is so helpful and why this podcast, I didn't realize it was going to have legs the way that it has and that people are going to resonate with it the way that they have because of the conversations. They understand them, they're relevant to their own businesses, but also we're in a weird moment in time in history, and it is 2024 has been a little volatile. You look at statistics and you go, I don't know if this feels weird with the way things cost or how things cost, or like my pocketbook feels a little pinched. Like everyone's feeling this collectively as a whole. Like it's not I don't want to dismiss the fact that, well, yeah, everybody does have their own personal economy, which I was taught actually going through the recession of 2008 that, Dermalogica, we still survived and we didn't lay anybody off through that period of time. And that was partly due with how Ray and Jane managed the company. And, we weren't just kind of like starving and then waiting for like something to happen so that we could lay the whole team off. And other companies weren't as fortunate. So when you have a place to go, a group, and just get feedback, sometimes you just need some feedback or you want to bounce something off the other idea. Now, some of the ideas can be a little crazy. You're like, okay, well, there's that. That's an opinion too. We could go there, but there is a lot of really good feedback that actually makes you feel a little bit better about what's happening in your group and not in your business, and don't feel so isolated. That's the number one thing. You don't feel so isolated when you get to go in there and ask a question and not feel judged when how people respond, which is awesome. Maria, so let's talk. So I love that. We love that about the group. We love mental health. It's a real thing. And anxiety is a real thing. I know you and I have talked about this offline. It's a real thing. And we all get to just manage things differently, but they're okay. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's affecting you, it's real to you. And everybody else's opinion doesn't matter. It is about how you get to express yourself and being able to feel safe in a space where you're not going to be judged. And yes, so I love it because I always comment when you ask, are you okay? Some days I'm like,
You're like, am I okay?
am I okay? And you know what? I watched this dumb movie on the plane. It literally was called Am I Okay? And I thought it was going to be like a rom-com funny thing. And it ended up being, I was like, this is not the story I thought. I'm like, what is it? The actress from like oh my God, what's it called? Oh my gosh, what is it called? It'll come to me in a second. It was hugely popular. Something gray. Anyway, she was in it. So I was like, oh, this should be good. It was very interesting. So let's shift gears, Maria, and talk a little bit more. Let's go into like the world of social media, because I know this has been a topic in the group and you and I have had discussions about this, but a post a couple days ago, you posted about you need to have a website.
Yeah.
So your thoughts. So you guys, this is why I love Maria so much, because not only is she overseeing this group, which takes a lot of work, a lot of effort to manage, 100,000+ communications of what's going on in the group, but she's also an active esthetician with a practice. So it's not someone just sitting here. There are a lot of groups I've been asked to get involved with. And I asked the question, I'm like, well, what are you doing? And they're like a marketing company. I'm like, this feels gross to me and I don't know what you're doing. And I'm politely decline. So what do you think is important versus websites, social media, and building and maintaining an aesthetics practice? So you get to see a lot of stuff out there in the world, but what do you think personally now with your own business? Where do you feel social media versus a website, vice versa?
I feel like I need both, to be completely honest. I'm in LA, and I think it would have been a little bit different, but I recently moved, so
Yeah.
came to a bigger location. I love social media. Like, I love Instagram. I built my business off of Instagram. Working, actually, that just reminds me to reach out to a couple of influencers that DM'd me. Built, and I have a blog post specifically on this. Is I built my business off of influencers, using influencers. I was really into, like, I don't know if you guys know, but her name was like Desi Perkins, and I forgot her name, Katie, and like it was a whole like group of influencers, like Makeup by Shayla. So I very much studied them on how they would post in their things and like promote each other or whatever. So I was studying them, watching their what they would do often, and then I kind of replicated that in my business. And I got really busy off of social media and I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. So it's not just
Mhm.
having them come in, but then you have to, like, I would DM them because obviously they're leads and these are warm leads. So I would DM them, message them, Facebook them. And so when they would come in, I noticed, and so I never really had to run ads because that's how I would get busy. Recently, I have been running ads, and I noticed that they're very different. The people who come in from Instagram, who are warm leads, who I've spoken to, who've seen me through my influencers, they come in friendly, excited, happy, ready. They're like, they know me, they won't miss their appointment. They'll come in early, they'll bring me coffee. Like, it's like we know each other. The people
Yes.
who come in from ads are very cold, don't know me. The energy feels a little standoffish. I will say I do personally take accountability for why it feels a little more cold. I was like, I think when they come in from ads, I need to message them, email them, do a little more greeting versus
Mhm.
I'm used to Instagram, which they've seen where I work, they've seen where I park, so they know the whole experience.
Yeah.
Versus ads, they just seen like this pretty picture of my Instagram and then they've booked. And I noticed that when I'm doing Instagram, I'm currently working on my website, which is why I made that post, like FAQs, getting ready for my Black Fridays. But I personally believe the demographic I'm trying to reach wants a little more of that. So I'm trying to reach a little bit of an older demographic who wants to go to my Instagram, wants to research it, wants to see my prices, wants to see my booking, who wants to know exactly who I am before they come in.
Yeah.
Because now that I have the group, I have a little bit less time to be doing the other stuff because
Hmm.
now I'm trying to manage both. Which
Yeah.
before it was like I was on Instagram all day, every day. And it was during COVID, so I had like 2 years to warm them up. You know what I mean? Which is now I'm like, then I have a 7-year-old and I'm a PTA mom, you know? So I do see a difference in warm, like the difference in social media, but I still think just because I have my website doesn't mean I don't need Instagram, because I personally as a consumer will go, I want to see their website, I want to see their
Hmm.
prices, their descriptions, because I want to know, especially now how we're all talking about the economy and ribs being $20. Like, I want to know what exactly I'm paying for. I want to know what's included, what's in the booking, what's in the reviews. Faces, I only do facials. So
Yeah.
facials are extremely personal. Especially if I have sensitive rosacea, like um so I also need an Instagram. I need an Instagram, I need a website. I need to know exactly what I'm paying for. So I make sure that my booking site, my website, my Instagram, everything is so detailed. So there is no back and forth. Like,
I love it.
this is what
It's
you're looking for.
it's so super helpful. And the you guys that are listening, there's a different demographic for each platform. And so Maria and I have actually done a webinar. We were talking about where you should actually your social media vibe, like where should it live? And there's a very different, so if your clientele is, this is a very interesting conversation, Maria, because I just had this the other day with a new Wish Pro, but we're talking about the focusing on teenage clients, which is really about focusing on the moms that are actually going to take the kids in, purchase a package for them, drop them off, pick them up, do the whole entire thing. And that marketing message, you're not going to find her on Snapchat. You're probably going to find her on Instagram or Facebook. So mom is making the decision for, if that's your focus for clientele, then great. If you're looking at a more mature adult female clientele, you know what? Generally, she's going to Google consumer behaviors that she's going to Google it first. You do have a very young generation that's willing to seek things out on TikTok, but it's generally not our customer base. So when you guys, the people that are listening to this now, the sound off that was in the group a couple days ago was I saw somebody say, well, I had a website for 8 months. It doesn't do anything. And then there's a whole bunch of other people. Oh, I need my website. I book everything off my website. I just use a booking site. It doesn't matter what it is. It's really identifying who your ideal clientele is, who you're trying to target, and then setting up your offering, because I believe that your website is like your front porch. So when you're welcoming somebody into your business, your home, whatever, what does that look like? Is it scary? Does it tell people what you do? You have 5 seconds. I keep saying this. You have 5 seconds to tell a customer what you do. 5 seconds. That's the attention span. People are scrolling. If they're going to do a direct website search, they'll spend a little bit more time on your website. But if it doesn't get to the point very quickly, people will bounce off. You'll get a quick bounce rate. So it is a combination, in my personal belief now in 2024 going into 2025, which how is that even possible? 2025, there is a combination. There's a happy medium. And I saw a couple of comments about the cost. You guys, for those that are listening, the cost of having a website has come way, way down. And there are platforms, Wix, Square, Weather, Gloss Genius, Vagaro. There are plans for every business style and type and size. So to get a website going, Steven actually did a website for one of our clients on Square, and he was like super impressed with the plug and play features, and it was free. It was a free plan.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't have to cost money. So I get it.
I'm going to make okay, so whoever's listening, you need to know that when I hear something, I make a blog post about it. I go insane. I research it. I'll talk to David. I'll talk to every resource I possibly have and make a blog post. So I'm going to make a post asking how much should it cost to do your website, because you can totally make it free. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually when I came up with the group. This is like it. So I spent $1,700 on a lash course and learned nothing. I do not do lashes. I hate lashes. And when people come in and they're like, what course should I take on XYZ? And I'm like, well, have you even, like, for example, Wish? When you buy, you learn Wish the Wish way. And then you get, you also get products and you get continuing education. Like, there's so much more than just like taking a random something and paying $200 and coming out and not really knowing anything afterwards.
Yes.
So there are free ways basically for the website, especially the website. So now I'm going to make a blog post about how much does it cost, what to include, yada, yada, yada.
And you can be crazy, you guys. You're, like we're running a brand, right? So we have different needs from a distribution standpoint for like all of our customers have accounts, and like it has to be, there's a lot of logistics and legalities, and like you got to have all these resources. You don't, as an independent business, you don't have to have that much extremism in it. It doesn't have to cost you that much. The templates that we use for the website, they're constantly being updated. It is a constant thing, but it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. So I say, identify who your customer is, knowing that audience. And you know what, to the girl that said, she's completely booked off social media, there is a place for that too. And if that works for you, fantastic. If you are a newer esthetician just starting your practice, I would highly recommend, in addition to your social media accounts, that you have a website. Don't spend a lot of money on it. You don't got to spend a lot of money.
I needed a lash lift and my brows done. And I went to Google and I said, nearest lash lift near me. And it was actually a person who I had went to back in 2020, but I forgot about them. They're called the Lash Den out here in LA. And I just reached out to them.
Yeah.
I Googled it and they had a website, and that's how I went through it.
Yes.
And then I went to calling. Then I called them and I emailed them and I DM'd them. I did all the things. I needed a lash lift really bad. But I am the demographic where I'm going to Google near me, and then I'm going to see, are you open and can I book today?
Yeah, like, can I get this service done? Like, while I'm thinking about it. So you and I are both in the same category of like how we look for information. Like, we're going to go online and we're going to Google something, whether I'm looking for an acne service or a waxing service or a hair service, whatever, we're going to Google it first and we're going to pop up what's close to us. So that I say that, I saw some girls typing in about search engine optimization. Yes, ladies, you can't have search engine results if you don't have a website. So you might pop up in a random thing. Like sometimes people will be like, oh, I found you on LinkedIn. I was like, what? Because they Googled my name. And I was like, oh my God, did you like see where I live? And like, there's too much information on the internet. But it's true. I think it should be your home base and you should really understand who your demographic, who you're trying to target. And is it easily all the things? Can somebody buy a product from you easily? Can they book a service from you like relatively easily, like a couple of clicks before they're like, this is too hard. Like I've filled all this shit out. Like, no, keep it simple. Like, yes, I get it. All right. So let's talk about a little bit more before we get off the trends topic, Maria. Tell me what your thoughts are, because this is, as a brand and cosmetic chemists formulating magic and craziness all the time and being exposed to ingredients, it's like literally overwhelming. I see different trends. So this is when you and I talk about Jane and Ray from Dermalogica and you being inspired and like having this moment going to the back to IDI when we had our corporate office and it was all new and shiny and everyone would walk out of there so inspired. I will tell you that Jane, if you had a one-on-one conversation with her too, it doesn't matter if you were having a drink or having a lunch or whatever, you would leave the conversation inspired. And she would just lean into like whatever you were talking about. So I was like, Jane, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Australia. And I was like, I would really like to see, this is a manifestation story. So I'm going off on a tangent, but it's good. It's relevant. I was like, Jane, I don't know why I'm obsessed with Australia. I've always wanted to go there and I'm going on vacation for a couple of weeks to Australia. I said, it would really make my day if I could see Olivia Newton-John. Like, because Australia, bless her, rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. So we fly all the way there with my friend Robert, and we literally check in and we're with this group of people. So it's for Mardi Gras. And they said, they give us this backpack full of stuff and they're like, just announced Olivia Newton-John is going to perform. And Robert literally looked at me, just gave me chills. He looked at me and goes, I cannot believe you, because he's like, you always manifest these weird things. So Jane had said to me, she's like, you need to just manifest that you're going to see Olivia Newton-John in Australia. Like, it was super easy, like not a big deal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Not only did we see her perform, Maria, we saw her shopping in real life at the Prada store in Sydney. I'm like, what is up?
Did you say hi?
Of course. Well, I was trying to be like LA cool and like, we just, these people were like, oh,
it's you.
yeah, like, and I make jokes about Steven all the time because he so doesn't know social culture, anything. And there's always celebrities running around out here just like you have in LA. And I'm like,
yeah.
Steven, that's Jennifer Aniston at Starbucks. And he's like, who is that? I'm like, dude,
Jennifer
seriously?
Aniston, I love her.
Right. So like, but he wouldn't get that. So anyway, manifestation moment. So let's talk about the trends that go in and out of the group product focus, because the thing about Jane and Ray that I actually appreciate so much is that they never got on trend. They never literally got on a trend. And I know being an acne brand, acne is not a trend, right? It doesn't go and like, okay, it's going up, it's going down, it's pretty consistent. But what are your thoughts on quote unquote clean and sustainable beauty? Like, what are you hearing people talk about right now? Because I see ebb and flow, but just the trends. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing?
The biggest one is beef towel.
God.
They don't even know what beef towel is.
I do. And you know what? It's actually so not PC. I know I saw all the comments on that post. Oh my God, you guys.
Fish sperm. What's another one?
Yeah, salmon sperm, I know.
One person was like, you could get the same benefits from your husband. And I was like,
you're like, girl.
No, I was like, not me calling my husband asking him to come home.
Yeah, we can't. We'll get banned with that conversation. So do you guys, this is the thing that I think is also cute. This is so vitally important and it will help sustain you, is that there's always going to be shiny objects in the industry. So when you go to a trade show, I know we talked about this before, and like having a
object woman.
Well, we all are. We love shiny objects, but that when you're in business and things are costing money, and we know we can spend money over there, money over there, money over there, is it playing into your business what you're actually looking for? So we have constant new ingredient technologies coming out, and there's constant trends I see happening. And a couple weeks ago, I actually have a raw material on my desk that I will not show in a picture, but it's actually manufactured. It originates from human placenta. I won't be formulating a product with you guys. Don't panic. I keep the brand vegan on purpose, plant-based on purpose. But it is one of those things where new estheticians seeing shiny object syndrome, right? You're like, okay, do I need to incorporate this placenta ingredient into my product? Well, chances are it's probably a trend,
This is why you need to niche.
You need to niche. You need to
Because
stay focused.
niches, listen, niching, or like, for example, being acne, like when I first started, I wanted to be the acne queen. I am acne queen. I want to do acne, 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 acne. And that saved me so much money, time, energy. I knew exactly who I was speaking to. I knew exactly what I was doing. When I would go to those trade shows, I know that doesn't serve me, so I don't need it.
Yes. Yes.
So it's really helpful. Or even when
Yeah.
you go to a trade show, you're just going to look. You're not buying anything because it doesn't serve you. You don't need 100 pumpkin peels. I
And
mean,
you guys, there's
it.
always there's always something to sell somebody. So it is a good idea to clean beauty, you guys, it's a marketing term. There's no regulation around quote unquote clean beauty. Some people perceive that as being plant-based ingredients, but also the sustainability in beauty is actually becoming a new thing. I'm seeing a lot of bioengineered ingredients that are actually good for the environment, good for the skin, which we would consider sustainable. So I think that it's, there's a little bit of leverage in between, but the goal is knowing what you do well, what the focus of your business is, and not getting lost in the freaking trends. Because guess what, you guys, that's what a trend is. It comes and then it goes, and then it comes and then it goes, and there's always going to be another trend. So if your business is bopping around like that whack-a-mole game, because you're trying to constantly knock down the trends, you'll drive yourself crazy. So you pick a lane and you stay focused on what you're doing, and then you keep it moving. So Maria, let's talk a little bit about, as we shift into understanding building a successful business, a sustainable business. What have you noticed the most? I think we were talking about this before offline, but what have you noticed the most in client behavior post-pandemic?
Oh, do you want to know? We're in the middle of this conversation right now, and one of my regulars canceled, which was weird. So I sent her a little message, and I was like, "Hey, if that time doesn't work for you, like, let me know what time does work for you, because I'm pretty flexible." And she just said, "I can't afford." I'll send you the screenshot. It just happened right now. She's like, "I can't afford it this month." And I remember, again, when we had said pre-pandemic, estheticians were the economy was booming then. Actually,
It
now
feels weird, right? It feels like a total different day and time.
well, it was also, I remember pre-pandemic, we were booming. Like, I remember every esthetician, there was so much business. People were like no longer taking new clients. And I remember left and right on everybody's Instagram bio, it said no longer taking new clients. And I remember, like, I was trying to get there. So that was the goal. No longer taking new clients, And then obviously everything shut down. So people like lost their clientele. People went here, people went there, a whole thing. And then now we're like back. I remember after COVID, everybody was like, give me 10, give me 100. Like, I'm ready. Like, skin. Also, there was also that face.
Yes.
And
yes. Mask me. Yes.
So people were like ready for that.
Yeah.
And people were like ready for self-care, ready to get touched. I don't know if everybody just never left the house, so there was a lot of savings.
Yeah.
And then now, like right now, one of my current clients who is religious is like, I can't afford it this month. So I have noticed that, like, I had went to the grocery store and there was a $20 bag of grapes. And I'm like, what? No wonder people can't afford it. Like, it's either giving grapes to your kids or getting a facial,
Right.
So
Right.
I do notice that a lot of people are more price conscious. So I think what I've personally done in my treatment room is I've been adding more value. So, excuse me. I'm
Bless you.
sorry. Do you guys see me like blowing my nose and whatever? My daughter's sick. Anyways, I am now making like welcome kits. So like I'm little chapsticks that Wish has. Then I have like a little postcard, and I have a referral card, and I have a mint and a little chapstick and a little like something.
Cute.
So when they making more memorable moments, and even like, for example, making more special, so it's less customizable. So it's like $150, but there's going to be like less massage, less that stuff. but then they'll get the welcome kit versus $180, which my normal price was.
Yeah.
And so I have noticed people are more price conscious and they want more of an experience, more memorable, more, which before they were just like, give me 20. I'm coming in. Like people were coming from Vegas
Hmm.
to get facial
Yeah.
treatment when I first started. Like I
I
remember somebody was like, we're planning our vacation around getting a facial. And I was like, what?
what?
So cool. Like that was
Yes.
my dream. I can't,
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, thank you. I feel like I should just give this to you because the gas.
Right. Somebody made the trip. So
Right?
it's real. And I think that the goal here, you guys, is we're talking about the reality is Maria's in Los Angeles. So there's been, weird things that have happened when the writer's strike was happening. And then
Oh
we had a
yeah.
bunch of estheticians like their clients stopped coming because they had a lot of people in the entertainment industry and it just paused a lot of business. So wherever your market is, this is where you get nifty and you get crafty about what your message is to your customers. So if your people are starting to feel a little, hello, that's not the right word. If they're starting to feel a little crunch with their pocketbook, how are you going to add more value so that people feel comfortable in coming in? And maybe so I'll tell you a story, Maria, that's actually super relevant because it taught me a lot through the 2008 situation. And we got a lot of flack for it at Dermalogica because it was the year we went into Ulta. And a lot of people freaked out and estheticians freaked out. And I will tell you that what I learned, and we were doing polls, consumer polls, people felt bad that they couldn't afford a facial. So they didn't want to go into their salon spas to buy product because they felt bad. There was a negative connotation with
What is
seeing the
that?
esthetician and saying, oh my God, I just need to buy my cleanser. So they're like, I'll go buy it at Ulta because I don't have to have that experience. And I was like, whoop, industry, stand up, take note, because we never want our clients. And I know people got crafty during the pandemic and doing online Zoom facials and like, and let's get together and I'll ship you
Yes.
products. And we never want to make a customer feel like if they're having a moment that they can still buy products from us and not feel negative in a way that they're going to be negatively impacted about buying a product or service from you. So I get it. I get it.
I love that you say that though, because now that makes me think like product pickup. Like you don't just have to come get a facial.
Yes, and what you guys, the idea is whether it's your drop shipping program with a brand you're partnered with, or with if you're doing your own little, like you have time and space to actually pack and ship products, make it easy for your customers to get products from you. Make it easy. Don't make it complicated like your website. So when people are saying, "Well, I just have my booking set," I'm like, "Well, can you retail products on that too? Because if that's an option, then great, you should be able to do that. But don't just discount that whole opportunity. People are looking for, we're busy. We are all busy and we have a lot of things going on. The last thing I want to do is jump through a bunch of hoops to get something
I
from
think
my,
though where Wish kind of stands out is people who have acne,
yes.
and people who want to fix it. So that really is different.
So you're talking about lip balm. So I had to get the lip balm out.
Yeah.
You're right. So your acne clientele, they're more consistent because you don't take time off from your acne treatment when you're going through the clearing process. You stay focused on that. And that is an incredible way to continue your business, even through these little hiccups that we see in the economy. Picking a niche, like I've said from the very beginning, it doesn't matter if you love Brazilians, you love lashes, you love whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to love doing it. You got to be super educated in it. And you know what I love, Maria, too, is whenever somebody asks a question specifically around acne, because I obviously pay attention to that, is the 150 different responses.
I love
And I'm
that
like,
too.
this is why there's such a need for education. We will continue to preach the Wish message about continuing and focusing in our niche. The thing that breaks my heart, and you guys, if you're listening to this breaks my heart. When you are a licensed esthetician and you refer a client with mild to moderate acne to a dermatologist, my heart is broken. You just
Yeah.
gave away your business. You gave away your business. You don't need to do that. That is about education. So whenever I see people posting in there, you can't do that. You should. And I was like, this is about education because you can treat 90% of the cases, you guys, 90%. 10% of them actually require medical intervention, which is not the norm. Look, we're going off on a tangent. Shocking.
Perfect.
So, Maria, let's talk about So this is the other thing that I love about the group, because you do attract a lot of new estheticians when they're just getting started.
I
So
love
let's talk about, I know you shared a story on the first podcast. You guys, if you didn't listen to that, go find I Wish wherever you're listening to this and go find our very first podcast. Maria talked about her story about becoming an esthetician and like what that looked like. But Maria, talk about some common mistakes you see new estheticians when they're starting their business.
oh, not focusing on retail.
Yes.
Any new object. Like, and I was
Yes.
one of them. Retail is king. Exactly like you just said. Some people are like, I don't want to come in for a facial, but I want retail. We need retail. You need retail more than you need a really expensive machine. So
You
like, or
do.
just focusing too heavy on back bar,
Mm-hmm.
like, and really becoming the master of your craft. So don't try to go like lashes, waxing, da, 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 da. And I'm just as guilty as this, because when I tell you I love the industry that I'm in, I love being an esthetician. I love every single aspect of it. Go to my treatment room, and I've been building it for the past 10 years. So I have a lot of things. But I really, really, I personally have wished it would have saved me so much money, so much heartache, so much. There's like a little bit of shame sometimes of the things that I get. I'm like, why did I buy that? Retail. You need retail, and you need to become the master. Like, for if you're gonna go with Wish, really learn what you're doing to be able to talk in layman's terms to your clients.
Yep.
So making it very simple. For example, you should be able to pick up that phytoactive and be like, this is what this phytoactive is for.
Yep.
This is how you're going to use it,
Yep.
and keep it simple.
Yes.
That's it.
Don't overwhelm your clients. We get a lot of questions, but you guys, when you look at if I just came in totally blind I say this to my business partner often, I was like, if I just came in as a consultant right now and I was trying to consult on what the situation is and what it looked like today, I would be saying XYZ. And when you look at your aesthetics practice, you guys, when you look at your business overall, your profitability, your retail component should pay all your bills. It should be the icing on the cake. It should be literally at the forefront of what consumers see. Your services should then be all your profitability. And I know we haven't been taught to think that way, but it literally is the difference between cash flow, profitability, and just making it. So I think we talked about on one of the podcasts, Maria, about there was an esthetician in the post in the group, and she was like, I've been an esthetician for 30 years and I've never retailed anything. My heart broke for her, because I literally was like, you know what? That's your retirement. That was your home, actually. That's your business. Like, these people, I have a couple of clients that have bought buildings this year. I have a client that just opened her second location in Nashville. We were at a grand opening in Nashville. Shout out to the Skin Fairy.
Hey.
Yes, it was I mean, we're going to post some pictures about it because it's so cute and such an awesome event, and singers are like so cute. But the goal here is that we understand where the profitability of your business comes from. And knowing what that is, remember that you guys, even after you get a client clear, they're going to continue to purchase products from you to maintain their skin. So it's above and beyond doing the treatment. Yes, do the treatment, do the chemical peel, do the extractions, do all the things, the feel good things. But remember that your clients will continue to support your business above and beyond after they're clear. And it is a huge, huge, huge
That's
thing.
exactly why I named it the money-making esthetician. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Can you make $10,000 off of treatments? Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Why would you want to?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, and then when I talk about retail, I remember I had a little tiny, I lived in South El Monte, so those who know. And I had a little tiny room. I don't even remember, so small. And clients would be like, they'd be asking me like, what's the retail? What's the retail? And I would make them a list and send them to Ulta for Dermalogica products. Could you imagine? It was like they were coming out with two $400 tickets.
Yes. That's your money. That's your business.
When I first started selling retail, per ticket, I was making $500-$600. And that's how I was hitting 10,000. Like, what the heck?
Yep.
But that's why I named it the money making esthetician, because it's like $500 ticket is a make or break for me for a solo esthetician.
Yep.
Like, that is huge.
Yes. Huge and possible. So knowing your stuff, being educated, providing exemplary service. This is where you're talking about following up with people, checking with people, knowing people before they come in for services, but also the follow through after checking in after their services. How was your facial? I want to get feedback. How are your products performing for you? Like all the things that go above and beyond someone just coming into your room the day of. It's true and it's huge. And I'm getting you wellness formula. Totally getting it for you. All right. So let's move into a little bit of what we're talking about profitability. What advice, because this was also a recent post, would you give fellow estheticians on pricing their services competitively yet profitably?
Ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Go.
Okay, you need to snip this. Get ChatGPT.
Yes.
Okay, go to ChatGPT and ask, what are the prices to the nearest whatever? There's a question that I put. What is the average price of a facial near me? And that beautiful little AI technology is going to be like, and then you're going to be like, learn my business. And then you're going to tell it everything about your business. And then you're going to tell it, I want a competitive yet, what did we say? Profitable business.
Yes.
And then boom. You guys want to make sure this isn't a hobby. We're here to make money.
Yes.
Do you know,
Livelihood.
do you know how much a swim class costs? $65 for 30 minutes. How are you going to pay for that if you're not making profit?
Right.
And I'm talking about this from like a really like real standpoint for me. You know what I mean? Like I have singing classes I need to pay for. Like I need to pay for my gas, my insurance, my car. So when people are like, I'm not money hungry, neither am I. But I do have to pay for like
life.
Life
costs money.
Yeah, and not only that, but then I mean I'm also feeding into small businesses, right? Who are charging their prices and their values. But you need to be able to be smart. Like nothing should be lower than $1 per minute. Nothing.
Yes, agree 100%.
And take into consideration what kind of value you're bringing, education you're bringing, the touches. Like my massage, my massage medium alone is $40. Gosh, that's expensive, and I'm using a lot of it.
Yes, because you're a giver, and I know you put a lot of love into your services.
But I don't want people to undercut themselves. This isn't like if you're not making profit, this is a very expensive hobby.
Right. I've had some conversations. You and I both know some consultants in the industry, and I was having a conversation with one of them, and she had just got on the phone with one of her clients who had been doing it for 3 years, and she wasn't turning a profit yet. And she was very direct with her and said, you need to close it because as you're treating it, it's a hobby. She's had another job, and she's like, this is 3 years in, like, you're not going to ever transition this, so you should close your business. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, if it's your hobby and you have a whole nother means of financial, but you know what? This is the livelihood for a huge portion of estheticians. Understanding that everything that you do should be around building and maintaining that.
I also want to add the reason why I'm so passionate. So at the time when I started the group, I started my business, I was a single mom and I lived in LA. So I was like, how am I going to make money for like a 2 household income into one? And then my availability is really tiny. So I dropped my kid off at 8 o'clock and then I need to pick her up. I think at this time was like 2:30, 1 o'clock. I don't even know. Who is going to hire me?
Yeah.
Who is going to hire me? And then who is going to pay me enough to pay $2,000 for rent plus all of my other expenses?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Right.
Or like today, my daughter's sick, right? She didn't go to school.
Mm-hmm.
On days like this, we would mask up and I would go to the treatment room and I'd be very honest with my clients. Hey, my daughter's here. She's sick. Do you want to reschedule or do you want to keep your appointment? I mean, this was post COVID, so people didn't care. I mean, we were honest. And they're like, I want to come in. Just make sure you have a mask.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
You're like, all right, it is real life, and we are human beings having a human experience moving through space and time. And it is just a relevant conversation to have, thought process that you are here to make money and there's ways to do it in a profitable way. And there's ways to do it
with making money. I feel like there's this very negative thing around like, I'm not money hungry. Well, neither am I, but like gas needs gassing, like car needs gassing, whatever.
Yeah, we're not, I say often to Maria that we're not running nonprofits. There's different ways that you can run companies. I've chosen at Wish to keep the organization very flat so we can keep our prices down. I know there are $200 serums on the market today. I get it. I understand. They're usually L'Oreal. Like I get the infrastructure, the planes, trains, automobiles, the refs, the hotels, that all that expense you end up paying for and the consumer ends up paying for. So how the business is run is directly impacting product pricing, of course,
But
ingredients.
don't be like, so for example, when you're like, I don't want to retail, that person needs to wash her face.
Yes.
She's going
Yes.
to wash her face.
She is going,
Now,
hopefully she's going to wash her face.
is she going to give you the $20 or is she going to give Sephora the $20? The $20
Right.
is going to go somewhere. And there's nothing wrong with me grabbing the $20. Also, because it's also like, personally, the way I run my business is I put so much time, so much value. Like I'm in there, I'm adding extras, like whatever I can add, I'm going to do. But it comes from, but I do need to turn a profit. Like I'm not
Yep.
doing this for fun. It's fun, but I do
Yep.
need to make money. And I really feel like people should just be comfortable and accept that. And there's a certain pride that comes behind that.
True. It is true. You know, you and I both have a love for this industry. You know, I wouldn't be in it for going on 30 years if I didn't love it. But you know, there's days I want to cry too. There's literal days where I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
That's when we have to check in and say, are
Like
you
what?
okay?
Like what? What makes you want to cry?
Well, so when you guys feel the economy pinch, we feel a pinch too.
Oh, for sure.
And there is, you know, we all have expenses of just maintaining life. You know, it doesn't just go on pause because, you know, the economy's rough. And one of the things that in our industry, Maria, is because we are predominantly female based in the industry, guess what? You guys are moms. You know what moms do in the summertime when their kids are home? They go on vacation. So you have to have to know as a brand, if you're not in the treatment room doing treatments, you're not ordering product, it takes, your business takes a hit. My business takes a hit in the summertime when people are on vacation. So just like your clients are having a moment about like, I can't afford that. I have the same moments, you guys. I know I say it all the time about being an independent brand and focusing on independent estheticians. It is 100% true. There are days where I'm like, this might have been I'm like, this was a whole lot easier just when you're collecting a check. Like, and I get it. And I'm blessed. And I feel very, you know, businesses 3 years plus into it. Once you survive that 3-year hurdle, you're like, you go into the safe zone because that's usually where most businesses die. So we're over that hurdle, but it's never, you know, we constantly want to grow. You want to keep growing. You want to keep investing and reinvesting in your company and your business and growing and growing and growing. And it just, you know, we're real people having real experiences. So I get it. So Maria and I could literally keep talking and talking. So I'm going to switch, Maria, the conversation now to planning and marketing, because we are in Q4. You guys were at the end of the quarter four, at the end of the year. We're getting ready to go into 2025. There is for those of you that don't know why the term, you hear Black Friday. Back in the day, I worked at retail for a long time. I worked for the Gap. I worked for a company called Miller's Outpost back in the day.
I love Miller's
I
Outpost.
mean, we all love Miller's Outpost. So you guys, the companies would call it Black Friday because the day after Thanksgiving, when everybody would go shopping like freaks, those were the days that businesses, companies would actually shift from the red to going into the black, meaning that they were going into profitability. So imagine that. We can't operate like that in 2024, where we're running in the negative, all waiting for Black Friday to happen. But that's why Black Friday, that's the terminology where it actually came from, is moving from the red into the black. But here's the beautiful part about our industry. So people know that they're going to shop, right? They have this mentality. They're being advertised everywhere. So Maria, now that we're talking about Black Friday, how do you approach setting a goal for what you want to do? Or maybe we're going to talk through this right now live in real time.
Okay.
How do you want to set up a goal for your aesthetic business and what you want to do for Black Friday? What are your thoughts?
Have you ever heard that one, like, oh, I love this question, that like sound? So I actually, so I have so many ideas actually. So, but I've narrowed it down to three. So I was thinking about getting like a wish bundle, so it'd be a little bundle.
Yes.
And when they purchase 3 treatments, they would get a complimentary bundle.
Love it.
Why? And I actually wrote this in an email, and I explained to them why I came up with this. So instead of it being 180, they're reduced down to 150, the full treatment. and then they would get like a toner, cleanser, whatever, in their bundle. And why? It's because we know that you can't just achieve something in one service.
Yeah.
And you can't just get a service without products.
Yes.
So this is like in the middle, and it's still profitable for me. And it gives them full-size products for them to fall in love. And then by their second treatment, they're going to repurchase everything.
Yes.
So that's where the idea came.
Brilliant. I love it. Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. The first part of this equation is actually defining what you want to happen. So if you're looking at like, okay, you're really, really good with the ideas and then the execution. How do we actually execute that? Like, how do we turn it into like, make it actually happen? So you guys, as you're listening to this and we'll put this out in a couple of weeks, we'll actually probably still haven't done it a week, but we want to identify a goal. So what do you want? Do you want to sell $3,000 worth of retail? Do you want to have $2,500 worth of service? Do you want to sell gift certificates? What is your goal? Once you identify what your goal is, so this is where I have conversations with pros about, what should my goal be, David? What should my goal be? And they're like, I want to do $100,000. And I'm like, what'd you do last month? Like 12. Okay, that's not the right goal. Let's get into the right lane with where you currently are trending and let's build off of that. So it feels achievable. And so you're like, all right, I'm going to set up 15 of these kits, these welcome kits with a gift card. I'm going to position this. I'm going to email it. I'm going to put it on my social media. I'm going to do all the communication points to my current customer base. And also everyone that comes in my business now, all the way into obviously the holidays, they're going to see this when they come in my business. But what is the goal? Service, retail, obviously. What is the goal? What are you trying to do? And then when you write down that $2,500, $3,000 goal, whatever you're trying to increase your business by, you can back into it and say, okay, I need to sell 16 of those kits to hit that goal. So you're looking at every day, 16 kits. All right, 2 sold today, 3 sold today. Someone ordered one online. Like all of the things based off of whatever your goal is. And then you back into what that needs to be.
One thing that I want to say too for estheticians, get to your treatment room an hour early. Okay. And I would say, let me take out my candy. It's my cough drop.
It's all right.
Get to your retail and your treatment room an hour early, set up, and then when you come in that day, look at your schedule, who you have. For example, I have Jackie coming in. What does Jackie need? Jackie is my acne client. You want to sit there and think, okay, how am I going, like, practice what you're going to say so you sound confident and intelligent. There was this one quote that says, confidence equals confidence.
Yes.
If you don't prepare on what I want that package to be, so I want to give her a confidently clean because I know it's going to work. I want to make sure I give her a oil-based cleanser before that. So that's 2 products right there.
Yep.
Phytoactive, and then a micro moisture, because everybody uses micro moisture.
Yes.
You want to think what you're going to sell them before they come in. Work on the verbiage so you sound confident, because then also give them key ingredients or hero ingredients that are in there. If you just come in and you're at the end and they're like, okay, and you're like, buy this, and then they're like, okay, like, and it's just this awkward thing. So I'm getting ready for the Black Friday sale. One, I'm going to let them know prior to coming in, so they're not just like, whoa, she's selling me things. Hey, just a friendly reminder, I am going to have a Black Friday sale. It's buy 3, and then you actually get to take something tangibly home.
Yes.
So you get these 3. This is the value in this. Just a friendly reminder when you're coming in. And then, so it's not so like salesy, at the end, I'm going to be like, hey, you're already purchasing 1 facial for $180. Wouldn't you rather have it for $150? And then you get all of this. So like kind of practicing before they come in, and then reminding everybody. And I feel like it's less like, hey, it's $400. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
You're giving me $180. You might as well just buy the 3.
Right. So you're also, you guys, I want to make it known that, Black Friday. So there's, for like the last 2 months, I've been seeing Christmas trees at like Costco and Lowe's, and like there's Christmas trees started in like June. I'm like, what's happening? It's not even October yet. It's 115 degrees. What the heck? But Black Friday, literally, the sale, literally all the promotion, everything is right out of the gate at the beginning of November. So you don't have to wait for one specific day. If you want to have a very significant offer for that one day after Thanksgiving, fantastic. Do it. Do it for one day, but promote whatever your kits or your service rev or whatever your gift certificates, whatever you want to promote. Hardcore all of November, all of December. It doesn't stop just because Black Friday is over, and you're going to be inundated with advertising and marketing. All of your customers, if they already are your customer, you already have a relationship. That's 90% of the situation right there.
I believe if you contact your booking site, you can be like, who hasn't came in the last 90 days or who's came in the last 6 months? Call them, text them, email them, and be like, hey,
Yes.
we're having you have to actually physically make contact. Today, I set Simon apart. Everybody who canceled in December, I sent them that message. That's why that woman just replied to me. Hey, friendly reminder, we have the 150 special. Let me know if another date comes back. You have to make contact.
Yes.
And until they tell you, leave me alone.
Over communicate.
Yeah. If they don't tell you, leave me alone, then they're leaving the door open until I actually have people who were like, stop. But
It happens.
yeah, and that's okay. I'm also these are people who are old when I was in West Hollywood. So it was a long time ago.
It's all right.
Yeah. But it's but again, Lori Crete is the one who's you need to fight for your business. Now,
Yes.
is it a terrible feeling to get the text message stop? Absolutely. But it's also really cool when somebody messages you and they're like, hey, can I come in on Friday? And you're like, oh, you just need that one person to say yes,
Yep. And it's okay. I know when there's times where somebody will start talking about another brand and I've got my feelings get hurt a little bit for a second. I'm like, it's okay, David. It's part of the industry. And people unsubscribe from the list. I'm like, wait, I know that person. How are they unsubscribing from my list? Doesn't everybody want to know about this?
Doesn't everybody love me? Yeah.
I mean, come on. I get it. Can't be all things to all people. It's all right. It's fine. So, Maria, I love you. I appreciate you more than words can express. I know we're getting ready to go into the holidays. It's such an amazing time of the year where we're going to get through this little election moment and it's going to be a different situation, you guys. I know everyone's like, what in the heck? I'm like, just take a deep breath. Remember to love each other and just focus on the positive, what you have control over in your four walls, how we treat each other. Keep it focused. What pearls of wisdom, Maria, do you want to leave the podcast with for the group, for the people that are out there? What Maria wisdom do you want to leave for the group?
Well, okay. Is it for the group, for yourself? I don't know. I think it's don't be scared of rejection. If it's for a person, obviously this podcast is for the solo esthetician. Yep. Don't be scared of rejection. It's gonna suck, whatever. But get out there, get out in the pavement. Especially right now where there's so many festivals. Go to your local farmer market, get out there, pass out flyers. You need to get in front of people.
Yes.
If that's not your thing, then message every single client you have. If you, again, 2024, don't suffer in silence. If you need help, come to the group, ask questions. David is a fantastic resource. He's literally a effing genius. So ask him questions. Get your Black Friday offer. Don't just think posting on social media respectfully is it's all you need. You need newsletters. You need text messages. You need to be in every single, this is the thing. Now thinking about it out loud, I'm going to DM every single one of my person who's looking at my stories. That's a warm lead. My Black Friday offer.
Yes.
If you don't have a website, text them your booking link.
Yep.
Message. If your goal is to sell 10, so that's my goal, you're only going to get 10%. So that means I need to send it to over 100 people to get one. One.
Good metrics.
And that is that's selling one of 100 people is a good number. That's actually really good in the sales world. So 1,000 people. So message, pass out flyers, get these welcome kits together, go get the little chapstick and your regimen card. Even if you get those little things at Amazon and you put in Confidently Clean inside the little Amazon thingies and you get their regimen ready. I'm going to mute because I'm going to cough 1 second.
Okay.
Get their regimen ready. Maybe with yours, everybody needs Phytoactive, especially if they have acne. Do a package. Buy 3, get a Phytoactive.
Yep.
You need to make memorable moments, be personable, actually take the course and be able to talk in layman's terms to be relatable and be passionate. Is it easy? No. Are you going to get cancellations? Yes. But are you really can you really, at the end of the day, say you're turning over every single stone? Are you DMing? Are you like meeting people? Are you plans who canceled? It is not the best feeling for people to tell me I can't afford it. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're in this for the long run.
Yeah. And it's okay because on the flip side to that, there are a lot of the everyone's economy is personal, and there are always people that can afford your services and products. And so you just have to remember that there are always people that can afford your services and products. So when you have that moment, you feel for that person. Maybe you're willing to work with that person and offer them something that obviously is going to help their situation. You have a better relationship with your independent clients, of course, but it doesn't matter, you guys, if you're just starting brand new and you've got 10 clients, you're going to treat those 10 clients like royalty out of the gate as you're building your book. So, and if you have 500 clients in your database, it doesn't matter. The point is you're doing the outreach, you're doing the communication. It is above and beyond. We were joking, Marie and I, before we started about doing one post on social media and then it didn't do anything. So I never do it again. Trust me, it takes time and consistency. I think it took us 3 years to build 22,000 Instagram followers. And that's just through consistent posting, like consistent posting.
Bring
So
value.
yes,
You know,
true.
like, look at how pretty I am.
I know, right? I get it. Like, yes, like offer
You
some
are very
value to your
cute.
customers.
You are so cute, but
Everyone's so cute. All right, Maria. Well, I love this. I love this. Tell everybody where they can find you, what they need to sign up for, all the deets. Yes. I love it. Find Maria on Instagram. You can find her on Facebook, of course, the Money Making Esthetician Group. Maria, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. There's a lot of great things coming for 2025, and it is going to be a phenomenal year. And we'll be like, okay, 2024, remember that back then? Oh, yeah, that was just a moment in time. So thank you guys for listening. Say it again. Just a little moment in time, just like everything else. It's a moment in time and we will get through it. So I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you so much for season 2 kickoff for I Wish podcast. We'll see you in the next one.